I've run a software business entirely online for the past 3 years. I have the freedom to work wherever I want, whenever I want, with whom I want, and I love my work. And for almost the past year now, I've been recording a video every day. The business has more than doubled every single year from the start. I couldn't imagine I'd be here 5 years ago. If you want to do any of these things in 2025, you need to start now. You're only ever 6 to 12 months away from a radically different life, but you have to be prepared. Opportunity is a bit like a bus, and preparation is the bus ticket, right? If the bus comes along, it comes every once in a while, and you can take it and everything can change very, very quickly, but you need to put in the time to prepare. Everything is right around the corner. Like, it genuinely, it isn't that far. Things change fast. It's just that you need to be taking the actions. And if you want any of these things in 2025, it's the 1st of January today when I'm recording this. And I think so many people are obsessing about the goals, but winners and losers all have the same finish line. The only thing that differentiates the winners from the losers is that the winners move and they get there. And if you want to do that, you need to move, you need to train, you need to do whatever. When I say train, I'm talking about the same way that athletes might train. You need to train in whatever you want to move toward. You have to take action. It has to be simple action, doesn't have to be that much. For me, these videos were a goal for a long time, and eventually I realized I just need to move forward with something. That's why I decided to record every day, because I just needed the action to move. And it was the same in the business. I needed to move. I didn't take all the perfect steps. I didn't take all the perfect actions, but I took some, and I took enough. And I just kept taking them, one foot in front of the other. Maybe, sometimes it's a little lopsided and I lose my balance, and I put, I take the wrong step, but I still took a step somewhat forward. And the result of that year over year is you eventually totally change the conditions in which you're in. And the thing that people don't realize is that you create a vehicle in which everything can change very, very quickly. And to be in that position, I think is a really, really great one, because you're in a place where you can catch waves. And if you haven't even started, you're not going to be catching any waves because you don't have your bus ticket. And if the bus comes by, you're not getting on. And so if you want to do anything in 2025, I implore people to just move with something simple, because it was my biggest difficulty. It is many times my biggest pain and my biggest flaw is that I struggle with perfectionism. I want to do things really well. Even in these videos, I want to do them better, and I haven't always been able to. But the biggest thing that has always held me back was my lack of execution, because I overplan. I take a lot of pride in my work, and that's good for some things, but terrible for others. I'm capable of doing very good things, but sometimes that causes me to overthink and go in circles. And so sometimes it's better, like, done is better than perfect. And if you want to move in 2025, if you have a small business and you want to grow it, you want to double it, you're making, just about 6 figures, and you want to do double or triple that, you need to just take the simple actions that will move the needle forward. It's not that complicated. Don't start trying new things. Just keep doing the stuff that works. See what works, see what you need to do, and just do more of it and keep doing it. Do it in high volume and just get started on the thing that you know you need to do. Usually there's something that we all know. If I figure this one thing out, if I just get this one lead channel, if I just get this one sales pitch down, I'm going to double, triple, quadruple, or quintuple my business. There is always a constraint that we can solve, and especially in small businesses, unlocking that constraint leads to massive growth. And moving that needle forward just comes from simple execution. It is simple steps repeated an extraordinary amount of times that has made the most progress consistently over the past 3 years. And before that, I tried many different things, and the lack of progress was because I tried to do steps that were too complicated. I tried to do too many things, and it just never worked. I think this is a big theme and reflection of my own as well, is just more focus, fewer things, fewer and fewer things, just simpler and simpler actions, and just doing them repeatedly until I master them completely. Bruce Lee has this quote, which is, I don't fear a man who's practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times. You just need to settle on one kick that's going to move your business the most forward, and just practice it 10,000 times. And for me, I had a goal around content, and I realized I just need to move forward and practice the one kick 10,000 times, no matter how bad it is at the start. And I picked it up and I went and did it. And at the time of recording, I have some 10,000 odd subscribers, and it feels a little surreal to me. I wanted to share the journey. I wanted to share a lot of what I had learned and things like that. And I also realize that content marketing, I think, is an incredibly effective form of getting to help more people through your business. And this year I really moved forward with that. And in 2025, I we'll do a whole lot more of it. And it came from imperfect but consistent action. And that is the biggest thing that people miss, because I help a handful of people with their own agencies, and the slowest progress, the people who don't grow, it's always just because they just don't take the actions. The actions are not that complicated. The to-do list isn't rocket science. It's just that they don't sit down and force themselves and carve out the time to do the damn thing. And if you don't do the thing, it won't move the needle. Talking about the thing, thinking about the thing, planning the thing, cutting out time for the thing, time blocking on your calendar for the thing, it's not going to move anything. It's not going to be the one thing that you actually have to do. There's nothing other than doing. There's nothing else that will execute for you. It's just doing the action, and it's simpler than most people realize. Especially, I think, people who are earlier in the game. That was my biggest kind of mistake all the time. Is just I tried to do different things instead of just doing one thing. I was distracted, and I didn't want to face uncomfortable, situations where I was unfamiliar with the circumstances. Like I wanted to do things that I knew how to do. But you have to do things that you don't know how to do in order to get to places that you haven't been before. You need to do the things that you haven't done in order to be the places you haven't been. I think that's a nice way to put it. You have to do the things that you haven't done in order to get to the place that you haven't been. And doing things that you haven't done can be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you do them enough times, you get good at them. And when you get good at them, that's when you really start going to places that you haven't been. And I, 3 years in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that much in business. But my short stint has definitely shown me that. If you've watched this video, I hope it's useful for you. I hope it reminds you maybe of some of the things that you need to be doing in 2025. It is very much a reminder for myself, I think, above all else. In any case, do feel free to ask me any questions about me or my business in the comments below.